Good morning, and welcome to the Windward Buddhist Temple service. My name is Merle, and I will be your MC. We will begin with the ringing of the temple bell, or the Kansho, that signifies the beginning of a temple service. It is a deep and sacred ritual steeped in the ancient tradition. It is a calling of the people to come together to listen to the Dharma, or the teachings. The temple bell represents the gratitude and deep appreciation of members, friends, and guests of Windward Buddhist Temple. Please sit quietly in your seat. Please rise for the meditation, followed by the chanting of the Vandana Ti-Sarana by the congregation in Pali and English, and it's found in your red Jodo Shinshu Service book on page 7.
I
Please be seated. Reverend Sol will lead us in the San Bujo, which is found in the red Jodo Shinshu Service book on page 9.
Amida Buddhist Temple to observe this monthly memorial service, honoring and remembering our departed loved ones who have gone onto the ultimate realm of peace and tranquility. We faithfully recite the Nembutsu and humbly join our hands together in Kansho. May the pure fragrance of incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers remind us of the Buddha Dharma. May the lights that burn brightly lead our thoughts to Amida's eternal light of wisdom that dispels the darkness of ignorance. Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu.
Today we are remembering loved ones who have passed away in November of any year. Reverend will begin with hitting the gong several times, and when I call the name of your loved ones, please come forward to offer incense. After the last name is called, Reverend will strike the gong several times and lead us in the chanting of the Sutra 12 Homages in the red Jodo Shinshu book on page 120. Ritaro Sumikawa, Sumie Asada, Tadayuki Nishita. Sakiko Matsuda. Matsue Miyamoto Juichi Fukumoto. And Robert Wiley Kane.
In Buddha's wondrous pure land, Bodhisattvas gather round, golden form like the mountain king, steadfast like the elephant's pace, Buddha's eyes like the blue lotus. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's form brown like the moon, bright like thousand suns and moons. Buddha's voice like the nightingale. Thus Savior on Canon's crown, adorned with wondrous features, Buddha subdues evilness. Thus I bow to Amida, beyond compare Amida's pure virtue shining clear like space, all benefit from Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, Bodhisattvas all renowned, Maras to praise Amida, primal vow made for our sake. Thus I bow to Amida, golden ponds where lotus bloom, towers a throne of goodness. Buddha lives like the mountain king. Thus I bow to Amida, Bodhisattvas come afar, attaining through happiness. They reveal the Buddha's face. Thus I bow to Amida. All life changes like the dew. We have no permanent self. Buddha teaches this law to all. Thus I bow to Amida. No evil in the Pure Land, and no fear of evil paths. Faithful hearts honor Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, saving us through many ways. No tempters, no evil friends. Birth leads to enlightenment. Thus I bow to Amida. Amida, thus I have praised virtues boundless like the sea. These virtues shared with others for birth into the Pure Lands. together attaining awakening. mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namano, 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 namano.
Please rise for the recitation of Homages in the red Jodo Shinshu Service book on page 2. Hard it is to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear them. If we do not gain emancipation in this present life, we may not be free from ill-faring in the ocean of births and deaths for kalpa. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures.
We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depths of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness.
Even through myriads of kalpas, hard it is to hear such excellent and profound teachings. Now we're able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings. Please remain standing. Continue to stand for the Gatha, Namu, Amida, Butsu, in the brown Praises of the Buddha book, 104, page 104. Thank you. Please be seated. Our speaker this morning is our minister, Reverend Saul Kalu.
Hello. Hi. Sorry if my voice is not that good. Yeah, I'm just recovering from an acute case of bronchitis last week. So let's put hands together in Kansho. All tremble at violence. All fear death. Putting oneself in the place of another, one should not kill, nor cause another to kill. All tremble at violence. Life is dear to all. Putting oneself in the place of another, one should not kill, nor cause another to kill. One who, while himself seeks happiness, oppresses with violence other beings who also desire happiness, will not attain happiness hereafter. From the Dhammapada, the words of Shakyamuni Buddha. Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu. Good morning and aloha everyone. Thank you and welcome for your presence here this Sunday morning to be in closer spiritual connection with Amida Buddha and fellow followers of the Nembutsu. Although in reality, the Buddha does not physically reside in a temple, but actually can be anywhere, anytime we think of Amida or say the Nembutsu. Nevertheless, to spend one morning in a temple, a place for spiritual reflection and listening to the Dharma, serves not only as an opportunity to take a break from the daily hectic chores of life by engaging in quiet sitting and reflection, but also in doing so, we strengthen our connection with the Buddha. We call it Butsu in Japanese. It is an important part in developing Shinjin, or the entrusting mind, which, according to Shinran Shonin, is the decisive cause for our birth in the Pure Land. Last Sunday was our Eitaikyo service to honor the memory of our departed loved ones. We remember them and their influence in our lives. I cannot let November pass without paying honor also and respect to those of us who chose to wear the uniform, bear arms, and serve our nation. We didn't have a formal Dharma message for Veterans Day, so I'm doing that today, which was on November 11th of this month. We as a nation observed a national holiday. We call it Veterans Day, honoring and remembering those who have served in the nation's armed forces. To those of you here who are veterans of the many wars, I thank you for your service to the country. Since many veterans of the many wars the U.S. has been involved in have already passed away, it is also appropriate to honor them, not only the ones living, but also those who have gave up their lives. And together with those who are still with us, we pay our respect and profound gratitude. I am not a historian to give a precise number of those who are honored as such. But if Veterans Day is inclusive of all who have given up their lives while performing military service, starting from the nation's first founding, and given the many wars that America had engaged and fought in, the total number would be way over 1 million, I think. 1 million lost lives. These men were mostly those in the prime of their lives. Yeah, because the young people mostly are the ones doing the fighting. Very old men, with perhaps a few exceptions, are no longer effective fighters. Imagine if there had been no wars and men did not have to die or get maimed so young. Each human life, no matter whether that person is healthy or disabled, rich or poor, educated or uneducated, each life is precious and unrepeatable, according to Buddhist teachings. This brings us to the familiar passage we just did today, where during the service, the Homages, in which it is stated that difficult it is to be born human. Now we're living in it. Difficult it is to encounter the teachings. Now we are hearing them. What makes human life even more precious is that we all know as Buddhists, it is only in the human realm that we are capable of becoming enlightened, becoming Buddhas, and becoming free from the repeated cycles of birth and death and their accompanying sufferings. According to the Buddha's teachings, it will take several kalpas or eons for one to be reborn a human again and another chance at Buddhahood. Whether one is a Buddhist or not, to give up one's life for a cause that one believes in is the ultimate sacrifice. The many men and women we remember and honor on Veterans Day technically includes those who died in the service of the country. And although not 100% of them may have gone to battle willingly, the vast majority of them fought in defense of this country's freedoms and ideals in order that those of us here today could continue to enjoy the freedom and benefits of a democratic society. We honor and pay respect to these brave men and women through parades, speeches, and religious services nationwide, with laying of flowers and flags on their gravesites. These are fitting ways to remember and honor them, but it is also interesting to speculate as to how some of them would really have liked to be remembered by the loved ones they've left behind or the people of the nation that they have willingly served. It is, of course, not possible to get accurate answers. Most certainly, just like regular memorial services, their spirits would appreciate us keeping their memories very much alive in our hearts and minds. But one can also wonder, what if somehow some of them were able to communicate with us and convey their feelings on being remembered? It's not possible because they have gone away already, but the closest answer we can perhaps derive is from those who have been into the experience of the horrors of war and survived. Although properly they are remembered on Veterans Day as opposed to those who died, which is Memorial Day, nevertheless, their exposure to fighting and violence is no different. And I can relate to that indirectly through a person so very closely connected to myself, and that is my own father. It is perhaps appropriate that my father's death anniversary was only a few days ago. He died on November 7th, 1987. So as a way to remember my own father, I will talk about something about him. My father was a veteran of the Korean War in the early 1950s as a soldier in the Philippine Army. He was an enlisted man, a buck private, but in a combat unit. During one particularly intense battle with communist Chinese soldiers, the Battle of Yuldong, they call it in the history books, was April 21st, 1951. He survived a huge Chinese offensive and killed a lot of the enemy soldiers. It was a great victory for his unit, 1,000 Filipino soldiers defeating several thousand more attacking enemy troops. The battle, of course, was memorialized and made into a movie in the Philippines many years after the fighting had stopped. But instead of taking pride in what many consider to be a heroic action, my father did not watch the movie and thought it was pure BS. Movies are made for entertainment purposes. Their accuracy in a historical setting is sometimes questionable. Why did he not take pride in that victory? Because instead of pride, all that killing and fighting made him develop a severe case of PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, when he returned to civilian life. Memories of the war, the deaths and destruction affected his emotional health. My father may have been hardened by battle to be a good fighting soldier, but the war left him permanent psychological scars in the form of recurrent nightmares, labile moods, high blood pressure, and later in life, crying spells for no apparent reasons. He often questioned his role in the war. Was he fighting for freedom and democracy? Yes and no. On the national level, he was not. Our country, the Philippines, was not being invaded or attacked by either China or North Korea at that time. He was defending South Korea's freedom. He was there as part of our government's obligation to the United Nations to supply troops for the conflict. On a personal level, in the battlefield, however, yes, he was fighting for freedom. The freedom to remain alive, freedom from being hurt or injured for himself and his fellow soldiers, freedom to be able to go home after the war, get an education, raise families, and get on with a normal civilian life. That was the main reason why he fought so hard in Korea, to stay alive. The thought of fighting to serve our country became only secondary once he was on the battlefield. He realized that those many enemy soldiers he killed were people that had no personal quarrel with him, that they were the same as himself, most soldiers of his units. They could have been ordinary farmers, laborers, fathers, brothers, and fellow human beings, not the evil, godless communists that leaders from our side portrayed them to be. But these enemy soldiers were there to kill him and others in his unit. He had to destroy them. War is nasty business. It's either you kill or you get killed. There's just no choice. A famous American general in the Second World War said it straightforward. The object of war is not to die for your country, but to make the enemy die for his. My father's weakness was not being adequately prepared psychologically to handle the harsh reality of having to kill as part of his duty as a soldier. One or two enemy lives probably would not have affected him so much, but he took a lot out of necessity. And the guilt lingered on long after he had left military service. It was fortunate that my father came back from the Korean War alive without any physical injuries. Had he not made it, I would not be here now, living in this present moment. Although he passed away 37 years ago and should properly be remembered on Memorial Day, not Veterans Day, nevertheless, before dying at an early age of 62 years old, he had expressed his desire not to be remembered as the once ferocious killing soldier on the battlefields of Korea, but much rather be remembered as a loving father, a university professor, and as an ordinary, peaceful citizen in our village. He did not want to be reminded of that horrible war he fought in so many years ago. The only concession he allowed the military was to request them to give him a burial with full military honors when he passed away. War begets war. Violence begets violence. It is unfortunate that human beings throughout the course of history has always had a propensity for resolving differences through destructive ways. The wars and killings we are having now are no different from past conflicts. Only this time, modern, more lethal weapons have made it easier to kill people quicker and in larger numbers. And yet, the ones who die in greater numbers in wars are usually not the ones who start them. The ones who initiate wars are the egoistic, ambitious, deranged psychopaths on either side of a conflict who give orders to soldiers to fight and die, but all the while sitting down, making decisions and living away in the relative safety and comfort of their homes and offices. Soldiers, and above all civilians, die for wars that no rational person would ever want to get involved in. What we're seeing now happening in the Eastern Europe and in the Middle East is very concerning and dangerous. It could lead to a full nuclear war if not stopped. And that means the end of life here on earth, all of us. It is absolutely wrong for one nation to resort to war to gain the territory or resources of another, but it is neither the correct solution to continue to supply weapons to the other side without engaging in serious peaceful diplomacy to resolve the issues. To continue to attack is to ignite the fires of war even more. To provide weapons to the country being attacked without making the effort to sit down and talk peace is only adding gasoline to the fire. The killings will never stop. The soldiers in war are said to be fighting the enemy, quote unquote. But in the ultimate reality of things, according to the teachings of the Buddha, there is no such thing as enemy, quote unquote. In war, there are in reality only human beings out there killing each other. It doesn't matter the color or style of uniform they are wearing. They all breathe the same air, have the same color of blood, same basic needs to survive and continue living. Because of the state of war that exists between nations, so-called enemies, quote unquote, are created, demonized, and made to be destroyed by all means. We conveniently forget that all human beings, when they first came to this world, when they were born, do not start life fighting each other. In other words, any war, any conflict, any cause for why humans eventually fight each other springs from the mind. Although when causes and conditions are there and can make us do otherwise abhorrent acts, I do not believe in some theory that violence is programmed in our genes, that we are hardwired to fight like some species of ants or other lower life forms. We are much more advanced than they are and capable of rational thinking. And by that, I mean we should develop our minds to be as pure as we can make them to be. This is where the Buddhist morals, ethics, and values of compassion and kindness come in, or even the values of other religious traditions that promote peace, goodwill, and harmony. A person whose mind is rooted in such wholesome values would be very much disinclined to commit acts of violence towards others. Tragedies like mass shootings, like the ones happening in our cities every now and then, would have been avoided. On this month of Veterans Day, let us reflect once again and pay honor and respect to the brave men and women who serve for a cause they believed in. In defense of freedom, both national and personal, they have made the ultimate sacrifice, risking their lives and personal freedoms to serve. And it is not inconceivable that the people we honor on this day served, fought, and died in the belief that their sacrifice will prevent further wars from happening in the future. It then behooves us, all of us, to always pursue the path of peace rather than war in resolving differences. It is perhaps the best way to remember and keep alive in our hearts and minds those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. In doing so, observances such as Memorial Day and Veterans Day might become a thing of the past. No one should fight and die anymore in the battlefields. Excuse me. Especially in this age of weapons of mass destruction. It is a daunting challenge, but the survival of humanity is at stake. The price of failure to achieve lasting peace is too high. Let's put our hands together in gospel to conclude the Nembutsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Reverend Saul, for such a thought-provoking talk. Please rise for the Gatha on this morn in the Praises of the Buddha book, page 119, and continue to stand as we go into the Nembutsu.
Let go of the past. Let go of the future. Let go of the present and cross over to the farther shore of existence. With mind wholly liberated, you shall come no more to birth and death. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu.
Thank you. Please be seated. That brings an end to today's service. And we have announcements. Dennis?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Reverend Saul, for that wonderful message regarding veterans. And I thought it was very appropriate that you remembered your father on this Remembrance Day service.
Thank you.
Thank you, Merle, for being the MC. Thank you, Bob, for being our greeter. Thank you, Prudence, for ringing the Kansho. Joy for playing the piano, and of course, Ryan, who's recording the service. Let's see, we have a guest, Bethany Sen. Please stand. No, welcome. Please enjoy refreshments afterwards, yeah? Thank you. And I understand we have Miyuki Tamura. You've come before. Welcome back. Next Sunday, December 1st, we will not have a service here at the temple, but you are encouraged to attend the Hawaii Buddhist Council Bodhi Day service, which will be held at the Nichiren Mission of Hawaii. The service will begin at 9:30, and then you can find more information on the flyer that's posted on the bulletin board. Our next service here at the temple will be on December 8th. The service will be our Bodhi Day service. Reverend Saul will lead the service and provide a Dharma message. After the service, I believe we'll have intergenerational activity? Yeah. Did you? Okay. I'll call Prudence up later. She'll show you what we're going to be doing. The new Gatha book, Praises of the Buddha, 5th edition, should be available beginning December 1st. We have ordered copies for the temple, but individuals can get their own copies at a pre-sale price of $15 by reaching out to the headquarters bookstore. I have a flyer on the bulletin board, and you can get more information about it. On Sunday, December 15, it will be a regular Sunday service, but following the service, we will have our annual general membership meeting. There will be no refreshment that day. During the meeting, we will be confirming and installing the officers and directors for the new term, 2025 and 2026. Following the meeting, we will have a lunch for members at the new Mui Kwai restaurant. We do need a count. So there's a sign-up sheet on the back table, so please sign up. For several years now, Windward Buddhist Temple has held holiday giving programs to provide for needy children and families. This year, we'll be providing for Santa's workshop at Kapilani Medical Center for Women and Children. The workshop is accepting donations of toys, games, and gift cards, which will be used as presents for the hospitalized patients. After the holiday season, the leftover gifts are used as for birthdays and other celebrations, as well as to put into activity rooms throughout the year. If you can donate, please provide a check written to Windward Buddhist Temple, and you can get it to Gerald, Joy, or myself. In the memo part of your check, please write Santa's Workshop. At about December 20th, we're going to then write one large check for the total amount of donations to the Santa's Workshop. If you prefer, you can donate on their website. I have a flyer posted on the bulletin board, and it does show the web address where you could go there and actually make an online donation. Or you can actually buy a present and deliver it yourself. Let's see, Prudence, you want to come up?
Next month is Christmas, so this is what we're making. Snow globe. A snow globe. I think I put too much snow in mine. It's a blizzard. Yeah, so we'll be making these on the second Sunday after Bodhi Day. Okay? And it's plastic.
Thank you, Prudence. Are there any other announcements? If not, it's time to eat. So let's do words of thanksgiving. It should appear on the screen. We are truly grateful for this wonderful food, a gift of life. May we share its benefits with all beings. As we partake of this food, let us remember Amida Buddhist compassion, which surrounds all people and all forms of life. Namu Amida Butsu. Itadakimasu. Thank you.